Good evening, Jam in the Jar. We are Lokkhi Terra. How you doing?
Welcome everybody to another episode of Who Jams in a Jar. This episode is filmed from North London's most loved grassroots music venue called Jam in a Jar. And tonight's guests are Lokkhi Terra. Welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So we're doing these episodes so that our audiences can get to know the musicians who play here a little bit better.
Okay.
And to start with, I would like to ask you, because let's assume that nobody knows, even though we know and love your band so much, who are Lokkhi Terra and what kind of music do you play?
So Lokkhi Terra is a musicians collective from London, and we represent all the communities that mix together here in London. So I'm Kishan Khan. I'm the one to blame when things go wrong. Otherwise, I put together a band full of band leaders, and we explore lots of different traditions of musics that we were all brought up with. So from the traditional musics of London, from funk and groove-based music, to a lot of traditions from our heritage. So me and Sohini are from Bangladesh originally, so we play around with Bengali folk songs. We have a bunch of Cubans in the band, so we mix those folk musics with Cuban music. Sometimes we have other Latinos, we mix it with other places from Latin America. We all have a love of Afrobeat, so we mix it with a lot of West African grooves. And we're all Londoners, so we all have the tradition of mixing here in our blood. It's also, we've put 6 albums out, and 3 or 4 of them have been collaborations with other band leaders. So as well as having band leaders within the band, we play with other groups, which is why Dele Sosimi is here. So we put an album out called Cube Afrobeat, which mixed Cuban music with Afrobeat, and that was a joy to put together. And then we also had a collaboration with a bunch of folk musicians from Bangladesh, called the Shikor Bangladesh All-Stars, who aren't here sadly. So that's what we do. And everyone has their own project, but when it comes together in Lokkhi Terra, then it's about using that Bengali folk music as a starting point and then mixing it with all the musics in London.
Nice.
I could go on forever.
Yeah, I could listen to it forever, happily. And you play piano in the band, and you're the band leader, aren't you?
Yes, yes.
And I read today, which I didn't know about you, that you lived in Cuba at some point. Is that how your
spent a lot of time in
Latin
Cuba. Yeah,
music love started?
Well, to be honest, initially I got into Latin music by playing African music. So I'd spent a lot of time surrounded by different communities here, and I had a particular love of West African music, mixing it with jazz as well. But then I went to Cuba to take a break from London. This is before Buena Vista came out. And then I ended up just going back there for months and months. And so altogether, I spent 2 years there, not in one go. Justin came out and visited me out there. We did recordings out there. So
I see. So you've known each other for a long time as
we've
well.
all been working together for many, many years.
I've been working with Dele for 25 years and Kishan for 27 years.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, the fact that you had to think about that
Yeah.
is a good long friendship. Well, the musical result is great. And I think this is a great moment to give the audience a chance to hear our first song from Lokkhi Terra.
Okay, so back to Bangladesh with a folk tune. kande asone rajar mon moina re pinjirar bhitor he moina chatpat kare are chatpat kare mojbut pinjira moina bhangite na pare re kande ason rajar mon moina re are kande ason rajar mon moina re माये है बाप ही बंदी बोला खुशी रो माजारे अरे खुशी रो माजारे लाले धलाय बंदी হইলাম পিঞ্জিরার ভিতরে রে আসন রাজার মন ময়না রে হায় রে কান্দে আসন রাজার মন ময়না রে
since we have the legendary Dele Sosimi with us today, I can't not ask him some questions about who he is and who he played with in the past and who he plays with now. I have known Dele as the Dele Sosimi Afrobeat experience, and we used to go to nights where his family used to cook for all of us as well. Great food and great music, and it was an all-rounded Afrobeat experience. But how did that journey happen for you? Because you started playing with Fela Kuti, Femi Kuti, isn't it? You played with Tony Allen, and now you play with Lokkhi Terra and your own band. How did that musical journey happen for you?
I was just one lucky young teenager. I was in high school. Fella's family were part of my schoolmates. And then I got introduced to Femi by his cousins who were my schoolmates. He introduced me to Fela. I was already in awe of Fela before meeting him, and I had been playing piano in the school band, and we used to do Fela Kuti covers. My God, that was it. And then I got introduced to Fela, went to the shrine, saw the big band, and I was like, man, I want to be something like this, you know, dreaming. And then one day I walked up the courage at the night to say to Fela, I've learned that song you just announced. Can I? And he knew, and he gave me a go. He said, you sure? Go on then. And I played it inch perfect. Then the next time, because Fela has a discipline in Egypt 80, he owns his joint. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, themed nights. Wednesday, Thursday, rehearsals. 50 weeks a year. So if you're a member of Egypt 80, it's hardcore. You're working every week, so there's no room to
We're
Skype.
talking like 6-7 hours playing.
Yeah,
Like,
and
Wow,
we
that's
start
like
at
a hardcore
midnight.
music school.
We start just before midnight till 6 a.m. in the morning. So that's our party style back in Nigeria. Anyway, I went back again the next time. I only had the first hit. I wanted more. I learned another song. I went there next. I've learned that song. Can I sit in? Go on then. But also, can I take a solo? And you're like, oh, really? Go on then. And then before you knew it, I was like, I'm not missing any night. So I was there every Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tuesday mornings, we'll finish at 6 a.m., go outside, have a nice meal, and then from there, head to school. Anyway, that's where the journey started. And it was love at first sight and till now. So that party you were talking about, I just said to myself, I need a venue where I can recreate that atmosphere for my sanity. Because I was doing 45-minute sets, 1 hour sets, and I was unfulfilled. I was like, okay, even if we find one venue that will give us a night where we'll start around about midnight and play till 4 a.m. in the morning, and then remember that at 4 a.m. we've been playing since midnight, everybody's hungry. We have to eat. We're going to feed the band, but we cannot not feed the band, not feed the people who are in the environment. So we just said, okay, we'll cook a whole pot of jollof rice, you know. And that's how it started. So we started one night every 2 months at the New Empowering Church, and people loved it.
Yeah, it was
There were
great.
people who used to come for just that. Someone said to me, this is my workout. I will dance for 4 hours, get fed in the morning, and I know I'm coming back in the next 2 months. You know, that's my workout for the next 2 months. And I was like, it was very effective. And then it was a good discipline for the band. Because it's like, you know, the people who are short distance runners, long distance runners, we knew who are the hardcore musicians. By the time you played up to 2 a.m., if you didn't have the stamina, you'd be already out. You'd be like looking at Dele, I can't hack it. Or it's like, Dele, man, man, I've never done this before. But if everybody's still standing, I'm going to stay standing, you know. Have a horn section of like 4, and then the party people, they were there on the dance floor dancing, doing their thing, and then that energy would come back to us.
That
Even
was
if you
me, one of them.
and even if you felt really tired, the energy from someone else would just keep you up again. So that's how that started. And you know, that experience initially, what I was talking about meeting Fela, just inspired me, empowered me, and you know, made me quite confident of myself, my abilities, I started learning his music. Within a short time, I had graduated from high school, joined his band. I started reorchestrating in his band. Fela never played anything he had put out on vinyl. So it was hard for people to say, Fela plays Zombie, you like, go buy the record. But the band would do overtures before he came on stage. So I would reorchestrate for the band. Just before Fela comes on, we'll play maybe Lady Shakara, and that used to drive the audience wild. And then they locked him up. When they locked him up, we had to keep the shrine going and keep earning, or else we will not get paid as the band. Femi went into writing his originals. I went into reorchestrating more old classics. And that's how I built my rearrangement skills of Fela's music. And here I'm today teaching, playing, and still loving it. And then meeting Justin. Justin introduced me to Kishon. And anytime Kishon's gigging, I'll be there, I'll be like, watching. And then Kishon will come to our gigs because he's my MD, he's Kishon's MD in Lokkhi Terra and the Mutimba and the other projects. So it's like, wow. And we have a camaraderie, musical camaraderie. We like the same similar piano players and, you know, so it was a marriage made from the gods. I think. And then we went to Bangladesh with Sohini, or Sohini was singing like a bird, and I was like, ooh. Anyway, yeah.
She does that.
She does
that.
she?
I
Huh?
get it, yeah.
But this is what we've managed to achieve so far. It's just a tip of what the potential is. Without the challenges we have to go through, we probably would have done more, but you know, what we've done is still good enough. And what is yet to come, even I am like in awe. Like, you know.
So what's yet to come is an album, isn't it?
We've got various albums out, but we're always working on. I mean, everyone's doing their own albums as well. I think Sohini's just about to have an album out. Justin's just about to have an album out.
Yes.
Me and Justin run a little record label.
Ooh.
So we're putting various albums out with various artists as well, including Lokkhi Terra, including this collaboration with Dele. It's kind of London, the days of old session playing is where you play just as a session player. It's kind of changed. And now virtually everyone is a band leader.
Yeah.
So it's about, when you see us, we've got a little shop that we go around with in terms of records.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, so it's joyful. It's about mixing. I think the traditions of London are about mixing. So we're kind of a typical band.
Definitely, that's the beauty of living in London,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's London, but it's actually not just London. I mean, the whole thing of music traditions. You know, I mean, look at Cuban music and look at reggae and look at, you know, it's pretty much anywhere you go in the world. Actually, you know, people have been traveling for a long time. It took longer, but actually, music's been mixing for thousands of years. You know, so for me, I see us carrying on a tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that is very much true. Yeah.
And because of I look at in a philosophical way that music is that international language that it doesn't matter your color, it doesn't matter your religion, it doesn't matter your beliefs. When that music hits you, it's an international feeling. Oh, I'm calm now.
You know,
I want to hit the dance floor. Oh,
You know, we've done projects in Bangladesh, you know, and
Yeah.
there's this amazing singer, Baby Akhtar, that we did a
yes.
Lokkhi Terra album with. I consider her, you know, a good friend, but she doesn't speak English and I don't speak Bengali, but we stand on a stage together.
And you play music
you know
together,
what I mean? And
yeah,
it's
of
like,
course, yeah.
and it gels.
But there's also a little mixture. So in Lokkhi Terra, there's a bunch of us where our musical upbringing was about mixing. It's about learning lots of different types of musical languages, especially me and Justin. But then there's other people who have come to London but with bringing something to the table. So you excel in all the Nozrul-Giti, and that's your background from Bangladesh. So in terms of Bengali folk, if I didn't have Sohini there, and then we've had other Bengali singers, I'd be lost. It's them who are bringing that knowledge. It's the same thing with the Cuban knowledge. Having the Cubans in the band, they bring a certain tradition to the table. Having Dele brings an Afrobeat tradition. And I see people like me and Justin, our role is to mix all of this together.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were
That's
brought
what we
up
were
doing.
brought
You
up.
definitely
Yeah.
do that very, very well. Definitely.
They do, with a little bit extra too.
Yeah, exactly. I think this might be another good moment to hear Sohini sing, perhaps,
Yeah.
and go back to a little bit of music. And after that, we're going to chat a bit more.
Let's all get down. When I say Ofeshelu, you have to answer Ayakata. Are you ready? Ayakata. Ofeshelu.
Ayakata,
Ofeshelu.
ayakata,
Ofeshelu.
ayakata,
Ayakoto.
ayakata,
Ayakiti.
ayakata,
Ayakoto.
ayakata,
Ofeshelu.
ayakata,
Ayakiti.
ayakata,
Ayakoto.
ayakata,
Ayakete.
ayakata,
Ofeshelu.
ayakata.
Make we talk something we never talked before. We dey see am every day. Oh, oh, hey, hey, oh, ha, hey. Make we talk something we never talked before. We dey see am every day. Hey, ah, oh, hey, oh, hey. Rukudi man in the waka. Rukudi man in the waka. Hungry they run for him face. Hungry they run for him face. In khaki woolen shirt for him body. In khaki woolen shirt for him body. In trousers they fly above him knee. In trousers they fly above him knee. People will employ the man, the permits to carry the thing where he buy. Aye, they give him permits to carry button. They give him permits to carry tear gas. If it carry basket for protection tonight. They give him permits to carry tear gas. They give him permits to carry bottle. If it carry basket for protection too. Hey! That's what they see him every day. That's what they happen every day. That's what they happen every day. One day, the whole thing change. One day, the whole thing change. One day, Kalakuta show. One day, the whole thing change. One day, Kalakuta show, hey. They make sure say they use them baton and baskets. They use them tear gas, they use them basket protection. They can't do one thing they never do before. They do one thing they never do before. Then do something they never do before. Then do something they never do before. They will hire Axio, they will be ring Goddess. They will hire Axio, they will be ring Goddess. They will hire Axio, they will be ring Goddess. Everybody, let me hear. Everybody, let me run, let me fear, let me run, let me scatter. Axio, let me bring Goddess. Let me hire. Axio, let me bring Goddess. Let me hire.
That was very, very beautiful. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do every time I hear Sohini sing.
Thank you, Dele.
I had goose pimples behind my neck.
I know, something else.
Oh,
So Sohini, Kishon just mentioned that you've got an album coming out.
I do.
When is that going to happen?
That is going to happen hopefully in July. So this year, I'm going to be going to WOMAD with my band Kyo. And it's a very different kind of mixing of sounds, but it is, at the end of the day, still that, because it is London. and that's what happens here. So should be fun, and hopefully Lokkhi Terra will be going to WOMAD
Next
soon.
year.
Yeah,
So is Dele's band. So yeah.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
We'll all be there in 2023.
Aren't they lucky? I'm talking about being lucky. I feel very, very lucky to have you guys at Jam in a Jar.
We
It
love
is
Jam
a
in a Jar.
Yeah.
small, humble venue, but I got to ask, what makes you come and play on this tiny stage in Haringey?
You know, I remember occasionally we'll do a very well-paid gig, and we'll come here and we'll say, it's like, you know what, I'd rather do 4 gigs here than that well-paid gig because the audience was boring at that well-paid gig. Here you come here and you love who you're playing to. There's just such a great vibe, and we feel part of this community.
I mean, I am part of this community.
You
I
literally
grew
are.
up a stone's throw from here, and I still live in the neighborhood.
Yeah, but I think it's also the vibe. You know, it's also the vibe of the people that run the place.
Yes, absolutely.
And how they make us feel, and yeah, it's
I'll also talk
because
to
our music, you know, our music is so much about that sense of community, you know, and so actually it's kind of a natural extension to then. And you guys here get that, do you know what I mean? You get that sense of community and the importance of that and valuing it, you know, whereas you don't always get that in other venues, you know, whereas, you know, it's more business as usual, you know, but here there's a sense of, yeah, like we're all part of a big family, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. No, that's
when you
well
come
said.
into Jam in a Jar, I came into Jam in a Jar for the first time, and I was welcomed with so much love by the owners. I just felt that love. They transcend that love to their punters. All the people that come here, they're like about 6 people came in after me, and it was like first name basis. Oh, hi, you know, and I'm like, oh, these guys, they run a place that is home. These people are coming home to come and recharge. And I love that.
I'm really glad you feel that way because we wanted to do this project because essentially grassroots venues in London and around the country are disappearing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this project was very kindly funded by Arts Council England to promote the importance of grassroots venues and also musicians who play in them. And it's been great joy having you here.
It's always
thank
a
you.
joy.
It's a pleasure.
Jam in the
Yeah.
Jar.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
thank you
inviting
very
us.
much. Lokkhi Terra, everybody.
Cheers.
Gracias. I'm going to celebrate the 2 Cubans next to me. This is another Cuban song called Cumbanchero. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Good night.